We were just alerted that Tom Brady has filed for the trademark of Tampa Bay and Tampa Brady, and we had already come out with our T-shirt here.
That's awesome.
So I don't know. I guess my lawyers will get in touch with his lawyers, and I don't know what will happen here. But I mean, we could go into business together. We also had that one as well. But once again, we're not litigious. I don't want to sue anybody. I don't want to be sued. Cease and desist and all of that. But maybe we just, in these times, we just all get along. This is another one that I don't know if somebody's going to come after us for quarantine this. I don't know. Maybe Tom would like a quarantine this T-shirt. I don't know. Let's just all get along in these troubling times.
Yeah. Hey.
I saw this story yesterday. Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, the stars of Breaking Bad, are donating 30% of proceeds of all online sales from their tequila. It's called Dos Hombres. And that'll benefit the COVID-19 relief funds, in particular in the United States Bartenders Guild, I believe, through May 1st. Did I get that right, Bryan?
Kind of. You got a couple things wrong. This is the fact checker here.
Okay. All right. That's why I asked.
How are you, Dan?
I'm good, buddy. Good, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, too. Hope everybody is well in and around your family, both at work and home.
Yep, they are. I got a son in Singapore, which is a little nerve-wracking, but other than that, they're kind of close to home. Oh man, I
can imagine.
Are you all set up in L.A. at home, and is your daughter there?
Yeah, our daughter owns her own house from doing so well in her young acting career. That she lives about 2 miles from us, so it's been it's a nice little walk to go visit her. And looking over the fence, she's self-quarantined, and we're not able to associate with her, so we don't want to take any chances. So,
are you so bored that you're watching Malcolm in the Middle or Breaking Bad or any of your movies?
I take umbrage to that statement, young man, that I would have to be bored in order to watch those two fantastic series.
Yeah, but most actors don't do that. Most actors, and you're one of the great actors of our generation. I didn't think, I can imagine De Niro sitting around watching Taxi Driver.
No. I would, but I don't think you would.
Okay, what would you watch, Breaking Bad or Malcolm in the Middle, if you had to pick between a show to watch?
Depends on my mood, sir. Sometimes if I'm down, I want to have a comedy. If I need to get serious, I'll watch Breaking Bad. But been watching Tiger King. That thing is ridiculous. We went through it in 2 days.
But do you watch? I'm wondering if actors watch that and go, "What role would I play?" Or could I see that as a movie, or do you think that at all, or was it purely entertainment?
It was just purely entertainment to me, and then all of a sudden it became real because apparently, and this is a scoop, they're going to do the movie version of this at some point, and I'm thinking, wow, I don't know if that would work. How can you make the scripted version of Tiger King more explosive or bizarre or interesting or compelling to watch than the real thing?
You can't because nothing replaces reality. Like when you go, I can't believe, when I watched that, I thought it was, if you said Christopher Guest, and, the guy who gave us Best in Show and Waiting for Guffman, if you said Christopher Guest just produced this to make it seem like it's a mockumentary, I would have bought it. That was the feeling I watched when I was watching.
Yeah, it was pretty jaw-dropping. And some things you shouldn't remake, and I think I'd stay away from that if for reasons of becoming a scripted film version. I don't know. I don't think that's a great idea.
So you're not interested in being in the movie?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. I think hands off. I once was offered to do the Scarecrow in a play version of Wizard of Oz, and I thought, oh my God, how fantastic! It's so indelible. It's such a great role, and I was younger then, and I can flop around the stage and be goofy and funny, and then I thought about it, and I realized this is a trap. That you would have to do exactly what Ray Bolger did in the movie, or people would go, that's not the Scarecrow. What is he doing? That's not what he would do. That's not how he acts. That's not how he sounds. So you are trapped. And I think this, in a much lesser version, is the same thing, that how can you match what performances we saw in Tiger King? I don't think you can.
We're talking to Bryan Cranston, star Breaking Bad and Malcolm in the Middle and Broadway and movies. And I truly believe one of the great actors, if not the best actor of our generation. No, I really believe
thank
that.
You.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
tell me all the things that I screwed up on the introduction.
Okay. So Dos Hombres is a mezcal. It's not a tequila.
Oh.
It's a mezcal. Now, all tequilas are mezcals, but not all mezcals are tequilas.
How should I drink Dos Hombres?
I would drink it neat with maybe a little slice of orange you can take a bite of and take a sip.
Okay.
That's great. It goes great with any kind of fruit juice, primarily tangerine juice or mango or pineapple. It's really delicious. I put it in a margarita instead of tequila because it has adds a little smoky goodness to it, but not too much. It's really terrific. And
you and Aaron Paul came up with this. Was this while you were doing Breaking Bad or after?
It was about 6 years, believe it or not, 6 years after. About that. After we were done with Breaking Bad, and we said, you know what? Let's do something because we can't work together as actors for a while. So let's get this together and do something. He was the one who brought it to my attention. We should start a mezcal company. And I went, are you crazy? In the spirits business? I don't know anything about it. But it was intriguing enough for us to go down to Oaxaca and do investigations. And we were perfectly willing not to do it if we didn't find the perfect juice. And we found it. Just by luck, we found this. We named it Dos Hombres, two guys, just two guys doing something that we're very proud of. And now, Dan, we have employees that for the company now that we're that are still on payroll, and we want to keep that going. But on the other hand, our hearts are breaking to see what's happening, to my second home in New York there and all around the world. And so Aaron and I were talking, and I said, now's the time. We just got to do something. And we agreed. And at first it was 30% to the Bartenders Guild Relief Fund, which it was Ryan Reynolds' idea. Mm-hmm. And we said, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Hit him with his aviation gin, and Tito's is on board too. So 30% of all the proceeds that we make online sales, because there's no sales in bars and restaurants now. So 30% goes to that. Then we extended it. So from now until May 5th, Cinco de Mezcal, we call it, we are giving 100% of the proceeds. Everything above our basic costs is going to three different causes. One, still going to the Bartenders Relief Guild. The second one is going to the Hospitality Relief Fund, which helps other people, waiters, barbacks, dishwashers, people who are in the service industry and helping and doing such great work, completely shut off from able to make any money. And the last thing is the American Food Fund, and that was started by Leonardo DiCaprio. and a great organization that just churns out 100,000 meals a day, and they're just for people who need food. So 100% split 3 ways of every online sales from Dos Hombres at doshombres.com goes to those 3 causes through May 5th. So stock up, buy your Dos Hombres, and you know that money is going to them, and we'll look forward to making an announcement how much we're able to put together and send their way.
When's the last time you were drunk?
God, it's been a long time, maybe 20 years.
When's the last time you had to act drunk in a role?
Oh, maybe 20 days ago. Yeah.
Wait, are you working now?
I just, we had to shut down. I'm doing a limited series in New Orleans called Your Honor for Showtime, and we shut down about 4 weeks ago now. And we have still a couple more episodes of that to finish before we're all wrapped up and in the can. So at some point we're going to go back down to New Orleans and finish that. But yeah, it's just, and that's another cause that came to my attention is all of our crew being completely shut down as well. I mean, there's so many people who are hurting right now, and I can't. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about how fortunate I have been in my career, and that I'm financially secure, and it's time to help those who aren't, man.
That's
it's
great.
Really time to step up.
Do you have a man cave at the house?
I have my office, which is in dark, deep redwood. Lots of wood, lots and lots of wood. There's some metal in there too, some trophies and things that we shoved in there because we're not showy people, so we don't want to put it out in the other parts of the house. So I kind of shove them on shelves there, and I got my comfy chair. I got my TV, and I'm jonesing now because we're like, it's so weird to wake up and look at the feeds of the sports outlets and go, nothing going on today.
I know.
And all you're reading is, on this day, 25 years ago. It's like, oh, enough.
Hey, I've made a show out of that every day based off of that.
No.
I got to fill 3 hours, Brian. You were doing like an hour at a time when you did a show. Come on.
I know. It was easier.
Man.
Compared to what you guys are doing now. I feel for you.
Hey, we're lucky. We're lucky that we're able to do this. And people keep asking, hey, what are you talking about? I said, there's so much to talk about. It's just, it's not games, but then it forces you to be creative in what are you going to talk about and who are you going to have on. It's like I can have you on and I can have Hank Aaron on and Jack Nicklaus on all in the same week. And it works because that's the show. But you're also interesting people, and that's what I try to point out. If we have somebody on, hopefully you'll buy into, you trust me, that we have somebody that you'll be interested in.
And like Nicholas, I've won the Masters before, and like Aaron, I've hit over 500 home runs. So that's the tie-in.
Yeah,
that's how it connects.
One of the great athletes of all time, and a pretty good actor. It sounds like if you're bored, Brian, next week, like if you want to call in, because I really feel like you and your wife have run out of things to talk about. And if you want to, like if you just want to talk, like it's okay.
Can it be like a therapy session?
Yes, I can help you.
I'll lay on my couch and just talk.
Yes, free.
It'll be riveting radio.
Free. I'll be more than happy to help you. I'll be more than happy to help you. Give the website again. Give the website again.
It's doshombres.com. Dos Hombres, 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 trademark.com. Order today. 100% of the proceeds goes to those 3 really wonderful charities. And as soon as I get off, I'm going to order bottles for you and all the Danettes.
Oh, wow. You buried the lead. I was waiting. Like I was going to, how long did I have to have you on before you were going to send us some mezcal and dos hombres?
It's coming, my friend.
Yes.
It's coming. It's coming. Dos hombres on the way.
I'll send you a picture once we get it.
Perfect.
Hey, great to talk to you as always, bud.
Thanks, my friend.
All
Stay
right.
well.
All right. Thank you, Bryan. That's Bryan Cranston. I did some work when we got done with the show yesterday. And, I knew that was coming. Thank you. Too easy there. I reached out to one of my sources. I know you guys hate hearing that, but I want to let you know that I'm getting this from people that I value. And just so you know, it's not like I'm hearing. No, I'm actually talking to people who do this for a living. So I don't try to hide behind, I'm hearing. If I have something I feel like is legitimate, that is, that I can back up with somebody talking to me, then I reach out to them. My NFL source said this about Justin Herbert. He's the beneficiary of the current state, 4-year player at Oregon who most teams had full reports on after his junior season because they thought he was coming out. Had a good senior year, wins the Pac-12 Rose Bowl, goes to the Senior Bowl, good week, follows that up, good combine. And his pro day is one of the last ones before everything got shut down. He checks all the boxes and is safe but not sexy choice. It's all about the physical with Tua. Goes on to say, because somebody is going to do something different in this draft with a quarterback. And he said, New England's not going to go up into the first round, but New England has a quarterback to draft. Possibilities are Nate Stanley from Iowa, but he'd be late. Smart and big. Bill Belichick and Kirk Ferentz are close. Both father and son work for Belichick. The other quarterback to keep an eye on for the Patriots is Jacob Eason, who has the best arm in the draft. He's like Drew Bledsoe. Intangibles, a huge question, and he was not good when interviewed at the Combine. Keep in mind the Patriots drafted Ryan Mallett, who didn't have a glossy history, so it's possible he's on their board. I then follow up with my source, and I say, it seems like Tua's side is trying to put out fires. And my source says, Tua could go 3rd or 23rd in this draft. So some good stuff there.
6'6", 236.
Now, it's not 6'5.5", and then you round it up in the program?
No, it's actually, I think I grew a couple inches these past couple of years, so I think it's an official 6'6".
Okay. Because there was a while there where we looked at, if you were over 6'5", then we questioned that maybe people were too tall to be a quarterback. Have you heard that before?
I actually haven't. I got asked that one time, but not too often.
Where are you going to be on draft night?
I'll be in Eugene, Oregon, at my house.
Who else is going to be there?
My family will be there, and I think we've got pretty strict rules about no more than 10 people here. So I think maybe my grandparents or we'll figure it out here soon.
And you get takeout, and then you have a little bit of a celebration. You don't have to wait that long to hear your name, which is good.
Fingers crossed.
All right. What have can you tell fact from fiction? Who's telling you the truth? Like who really wants you? Like trying to sort all this stuff out that's pretty heady stuff even for grown-ups, let alone a 22-year-old.
It's pretty tough, and especially going through this for the first time. It's new territory for me. So all of that I'm doing, all I'm focusing on is doing my best and getting better. And whatever happens. I don't really have control over the situation. So just going to do my best and figure things out when they come.
Okay, if I said right now your best guess of who would be drafting you is who?
I don't even know.
Just a feel. You have in your head. You probably go, man. I think they like me a lot.
At this point, I think it's too tough to tell. It's tough, and especially I've never really gone through this whole situation before, so. I've tried to stay out of guesses and these projections and things like that. So just focus on what I can't control, and that's my attitude and what I'm doing, working out and stuff.
That's the right answer, by the way. That's the right
Thank you.
answer. Yes. Because you don't want to say, you know what, I think the Chargers really love me. And then all of a sudden the Dolphins draft you, or the other way around. You want to make sure you stay neutral, and I'll give you an A+. But by the way, you won the William Campbell Trophy. That's the academic Heisman. I want to know what the trophy looks like.
It looked like a guy punting the ball, I think.
Wait, is he holding a book or like? I mean, you got a punting trophy?
Yeah, so he's got both hands in the air, just like he punted the ball, one leg up, and so it's not really what I expected. But it's a pretty cool trophy, though.
Did you even know that there was a academic Heisman?
I did actually. I think Christian Wilkins won it the year before, and so I think I kind of had an idea about it, and some people brought it up and said, maybe you could win this. So we kind of had a fingers crossed, and fortunate that it worked out.
What's your major?
It was biology, but I switched it to general science, so it was more flexible with my schedule.
Biology sounds a little tougher. I get it. You wanted to ease up, senior year, mail it in, get some good grades, win the Heisman, academic Heisman. I'm right there with you. That's why I got into communications.
Exactly.
Was there ever a uniform that you said, I don't think this looks good?
I would say maybe the duck. We wore it in 2016, and we wore orange socks. And I had never really been a Beaver fan, and I think orange kind of went against our color schematic. So I think that one was kind of questionable. But I guess people really liked it, and everyone thought it looked good. So I guess I didn't complain too much.
Yeah, but how did orange get in there?
I think that's Puddles. Our mascot, his feet are orange, and so that's kind of how they did it.
There were a lot of people who did like that uniform, but I kept looking at the orange going, you're Oregon and Oregon State, you can't have Oregon State in there.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah. We're talking to Justin Herbert, the Oregon quarterback here. Where do you work out now?
In my backyard, actually. So I was sent some dumbbells, some barbells, and we've got a lot of free weights, and I've got two brothers to work out with me, and there's a field actually across the street that this great big open field that we go throw at, and sometimes we head up to this old park, and you can throw there up there as well, and kind of just figuring things out as best as we can.
You could go to the stadium. You're not that far away, couldn't you? You got the keys, don't
Everything's
you?
locked down, actually. Yeah. So I actually went there and I got kicked out. So I haven't been able to go back.
Wait. Did you say, do you know who I am? Did you have your jersey on? Like I'm the academic Heisman winner.
No, I was just throwing with my brothers, and they said, new rules in Oregon, and I didn't want to fight it. So we took off and went and worked out somewhere else.
Favorite team growing up was who in the NFL?
It's kind of tough being from Eugene.
You're in no man's land, aren't you?
Yeah, a lot of West Coast teams. So you got the 49ers, the Eagles, or not the Eagles, the Seahawks. You had the Raiders, and a lot of these West Coast teams. So I don't know if I really had a favorite, but just kind of watching all the games that we could get over on this coast.
What about favorite quarterback?
A lot of them. I would say Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. And then I would say Marcus Mariota too, just growing up watching him, especially since he went to Oregon as well.
Isn't it weird? You'll be playing against Brady next year.
It's pretty surreal,
right? Because then you can't fanboy. Like, what do you do if at the end of the game, do you wait for him to come to you, or do you go to him if you guys face each other?
I don't know. That's I got a lot of room to improve in before there, and a lot of places to go before I get there. So if it does happen like that, I'm sure I'd search him out and shake his hand. And
what would you say?
But, I don't even know. Whatever comes to my mind, and probably just say good game. And
you might say, Mr. Brady. And then he would probably say, call me Tom. And then you would say, thank you. And then he'll say, hey, good luck with your career. I'll play the role of Brady and you play you. Okay. Now, let me see. You're going to be with the Chargers. I'll put you with the Chargers, hypothetically with the Chargers. Now, I'm saying this, not you. So you're with the Chargers and I'm with Tampa Bay. I don't even know if we play. But let's say game is over and we win in overtime and you come in and you get some playing time with Tyrod Taylor. So I go, hey, just want to say good luck with your career. And then you'll say,
I'll say thank you very much. It's been an honor to watch you, and good luck with you for the rest of you as well.
Okay. And then Tom's already gone. So by the time he says, hey, good luck, and then when you start to say what you're going to say, then he just turns around and he probably leaves. But that's good. That's the way you got to handle. You're ready to go.
Progress.
I mean, I don't know how you're going to be on the field, but you're ready to go with answering the questions here. That's good stuff here.
Thank you.
When you go through this process, and every year, as many, I've been doing this a long time, and as many prospects as I talk to, it's hard to read all of the criticism. Even if you try to stay away from it, if your mom or your brothers or somebody's reading it, and then they might tell you. How does that information get to you if you don't want to know about it, but you're still going to hear about it?
Yeah, it's tough. You have to have thick skin, and I think it comes with the territory of being a quarterback and going through this process. But if it doesn't come from someone that directly has an impact on me, like Coach Cristobal, Coach Arroyo, or even my parents, then I don't give too much credit to it. And I think that's pretty important because there's so much being said about everyone at any given moment, and you got to find out what's important and what has value and what doesn't. You have to separate them like that.
But when you're called unfailingly polite, how do you respond to that?
I would say that if they knew me, I'm probably not too polite, and especially if you ask my brothers and some of my friends, they'd probably tell you differently.
But that's not a bad thing to be polite, is it? Your mom must go, oh, that's a wonderful thing for you to hear.
I think she's probably pretty proud of it. But going into this profession, I think it's tough.
What do you use that first paycheck on? Is there any big splurge here?
I'll probably save it or help my parents out with whatever they need. I've never really been big into spending things and buying things, but I'll probably save it or help them out.
Well, if they haven't paid off the house, that'd be a pretty cool thing.
Could be pretty helpful.
Oh, yeah. That's where, you know what? You don't get them anything until you can pay off the house, and then you just say, hey, by the way, put a big red bow on the house, and it's yours. See, I'm going to help you out here. I know you got agents, you got people helping you here, but I can help you. I can be your sensei. I can be your Mr. Miyagi and help you out with all of this stuff because you're going to need it. Need it the first couple of years there. Yeah, pretty.
It'll be tough.
The thing that you do better than the other quarterbacks in the draft is what?
I think that's a tough question. I would say that I haven't spent enough time, and unfortunately we're not given enough time every week to completely study the other quarterbacks, so I can't tell you what I do exactly better than them because I haven't watched enough of them. But what I can tell you is what I think I do well myself, and I think I pride myself on preparation, and I really go into each week, and I know exactly what we're going to do and going to have a good shot at what the opponent's going to do. And I think arm strength is another thing that I've got, and I think that both those things are pretty important to the quarterback position. It's
amazing that Joe Burrow and Tua and Jordan Love all told me the things that they do better than you. They couldn't wait. So that's odd that you don't want to.
Apologize.
The performance in the Rose Bowl, that was pretty emotional for you. Why do you think it was so emotional when, at the end of that game?
I think from going 4-8 our freshman year and losing so many guys and going through 3 head coaches, and it was the same group of guys that I came in with and wanted to finish this year out. And one of the big reasons I decided to come back and just to be there and be in the stadium and just kind of have a couple moments to myself and kind of look around and reflect. I didn't think it got any better than that, and to be able to celebrate with those guys, with the teammates, with our coaches, with the city of Eugene and the state of Oregon, it was a pretty special moment.
Yeah, and you grow up not very far from campus, and you have people in your family tree who played there, and then you run for 3 touchdowns. I mean, a pretty emotional moment. I could imagine that. But hey, you're going to have a lot of moments ahead of you, and we wish you luck. And certainly with that William Campbell Trophy, you've already been a big winner here, the academic Heisman winner. What more could you ask for?
Thank you.
Yeah. Justin, thank you for joining us, and good luck on draft night.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We have an explosive I-Team report. And for the latest, let's go to Paulie.
And now, we go to the newsroom for an I-Team investigation.
The motto of our news team is
Fast and Wrong is still fast.
let's go to the newsroom. Paulie?
Dan, this story broke just moments ago on the intranets, and we have two guests on this one. First, we will bring in senior merchandising correspondent Seton O'Connor. Seton?
A damning tweet from one Darren Ravel, very popular sports business reporter, saying Tom Brady's company has filed for 2 new trademark applications, Tampa Bay and Tampa Brady. He intends to use these phrases on clothing and other merchandise. Filing first uncovered by Josh Gerben, the DP show has been selling Tampa Bay shirts.
Okay. Yes, Paulie?
Dan, we actively have the Tampa Bay shirts, and we've had them in production now for weeks since actually the day Tom decided to go to Tampa and it was announced, we started rolling them out. Let's bring in Darren Ravel, Action Network sports business reporter.
Can we sue Tom Brady, Darren?
You can't, but I think you can continue selling the shirts, Dan. I am laughing right now because I can't believe he really drank. Come on. No. Oh, my God. Tom Brady's, oh, my God. Remember, in August of last year, he tried to trademark Tom Terrific, and that did not go well. But either he or his people are back. Oh, my God. I thought it was a joke. I had to look it up myself. It's real. It's true.
Now, can he sue us?
No. So the way the way it works is someone can come up with an idea, and if they don't, now, I'd hate to say you're stupid for not trademarking it, but who would think this would have really happened? But yes, so you can freely sell it. He can, if he gets the trademark, which will take probably 3 to 6 months potentially. Then he can give you a cease and desist. But
that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
That's really good content. Then you can frame it. Then you can ask him to sign it. Could be good. Could be good.
What would you advise us to do, Darren?
I would advise you to, try to sell some to Brady.
Like bring him in as a partner.
You want the first editions? You don't even have to make them. No, I'd say, hey, listen, this is him. Now, how did this come out on the day he went to Tampa? Like that, you guys actually turned it into shirts. How did this happen?
We were doing mock headlines of Brady going there, and then we joked that it was so easy. We threw out Tampa Bay right away, and then Tampa Brady, and then I go, let's make T-shirts. And then Seton got a hold of our merchandise guy, and then we started, putting it in.
Now, can we reveal how our current sales brisk? Where are they coming from? What part of is it all Florida people buying that, or do we know? We got to get a breakdown.
We just got to. Seton, do you have any information? We're worldwide here.
Right.
Yeah, but do you have any information?
Tom Brady is an international brand. So the sales are
so
from all over the place.
All 50 states and 221 countries, basically.
That's what we're hoping.
Thus far,
right,
yes.
Right.
Make sure you stay on this story for us, Darren. If you need comment, we're available.
I will. You should try to. Maybe you guys should try to sue Tom. I don't think it'd be successful, but it'd be a great story.
Thank you, Darren. That's
Okay.
Darren Ravel, Action Network Sports Business Report. I thought about Al Michaels with the quarantine, and Al loves to go to his famous restaurant Toscano, and Al joining us on the program. Can you do takeout at your restaurant?
Dan, they closed on January 1st for remodeling, and they were going to redo the kitchen and the floor and a few other things, and we're pointed toward a April 1st open. So here we are. The kitchen is still under construction. I believe takeout will be available soon. But in the meantime, what can I tell you? The Domino's truck knows where we live, and that's about the story. And then the great Linda Michaels, who cooked a lot when we were first married many moons ago, is back in the kitchen with Dinah, and here we are. So right now, my weight is very, very steady at this point. I'm very happy. because I'm going out and walking about 8 miles a day, so I'm training for the Olympic race walking competition in 2021, and whenever we're going to have it. But you know what, Dan? I wake up this morning and I'm thinking to myself, well, number one, I woke up a little early because I had to be on with you, obviously, out here on the West Coast. So for you, I will do anything.
Thank you.
But I keep thinking that it's Groundhog Day. I wake up and I'm going, damn, it's the same day. And for how many days in a row now? Yeah. And it's gotten to the point, Dan, where I don't know whether it's April or July or November or 2023. It's all the same. It runs together. And that's
what are you watching?
What am I watching? I'll tell you what. So obviously, like everybody else in the country, I went to Tiger King, and I loved it. It was unreal. Then I watched McMillions on HBO, I guess it is, or I don't know where it is. One of them, HBO or Netflix.
Yeah.
And watched that. And, after Tiger King, it was hard to sit through all of it because nothing's as good as Tiger King at this particular point. But it was fine, lasted till the end, and that was worth it. Watched a couple of Larry David episodes. Oh, and then I'll tell you what I did. I hadn't seen it since it came out in 94, 95. I watched Pulp Fiction. And, you forget, if you haven't seen a movie in 25 years, how many incredible scenes there are. The script, the dialogue, the acting. So I watched that. But I'll tell you what I do every morning. I wake up, and just for a little pick-me-up and to make me feel a little bit better, and I mentioned this to Mike Tirico on his show the other day, so this is not breaking news. But I wake up and I go to YouTube, and if I'm not looking for you, what I will do is I will search Don Rickles. And there must be 100 to 150 Don Rickles skits with Carson, Letterman, Leno, Kimmel, with Donnie and Marie. Believe it or not, he's on the Donnie and Marie show. And I watched that for about a half hour. And as the doctors will tell you, and I don't know whether it's Doc Rivers or Dr. Zhivago or Dr. J, but the doctors will tell you that laughter dilates your vessels, your blood vessels, and your arteries. So what's better than that, Dan? So my suggestions to all of the Danettes and all of the Danette audience is to type in Don Rickles when we get off the phone here and enjoy yourself for half an hour.
Any sports that you're watching?
There's nothing to watch, but so the irony is I go to the NFL Network the other day, and I can't watch myself because I've done those games, and I just can't sit there and watch it again, and I'm too critical of myself. But I'm doing the Super Bowl with Chris. I think it was Philly, New England. I think that was the game. And then there's one with John Madden, Pittsburgh, Arizona. And then I go over to the NHL Network, and they're playing the movie Miracle. and then I go to the MLB Network, and I'm doing Game 7 of the '88 playoffs, Dodgers. And
these are good problems to have, Al.
But Dan, here's the thing, and you know it as well as I. So one of my great friends is Tom Werner, who owns the Red Sox, and he and Marcy Carsey formed the Carsey Werner production company, and they did the Cosby Show and the Roseanne Show, and Tom's a great guy. So we're walking through the neighborhood the other day, and Marcy Carsey lives a couple of blocks away. So we decide that we're going to call her to see if she wants to come out and walk with us. So she'd already walked, but she comes to the front gate, and we're standing several feet apart. And she says, "What are you up to?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm up to nothing, but I'm on television more than anybody in history." And I said, "I don't see one residual or one royalty."
Wow.
And Marcy, of course, I said, "Marcy, I'm standing by the mailbox." I said, "Can I open this up and see how many residuals you got today?" So anyway, Dan, that's where I am. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I feel fortunate that we get to do this. Fritzy's at home, McLovin's at home, Seaton's at home, but Paulie and I are here, and very scaled down crew. But I talked to Hank Aaron this week, Jack Nicklaus this week, Jim Nance this week, you this week. I mean, we're trying to do whatever normal is. We're trying to do it. So I feel lucky. I do. I feel very lucky here.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing things. I mean, think about this. The other day, FaceTime is great, so I'm totally into that now. You used to call people audio only, and now it's just at FaceTime. I didn't realize how simple it was. And believe it or not, you ready who was on FaceTime? our man Bob Costas.
Whoa! Wait, he's got a flip phone.
No, he does, but Bob Costas, who very recently had a rotary dial phone, and then he went to he was on a party line, and then he went to a flip phone, and and then apparently I think Jill Costas got him, I think, an iPhone.
Wow!
I figured, what would the chances I would call Costas and get him on FaceTime, and there he was, with unshaven and the whole thing, and looking like a bum, like all of us are looking right now. But Bob has come into the 21st century with us.
Wow, that's incredible. We're talking to Al Michaels, NBC Sunday Night Football, play-by-play boys. How close did you come to getting traded to ESPN? I'm curious about that, Al.
The only thing I knew is that Andrew Marchand had great sources and kept writing about it. And when Andrew called me, I said, "Hey, listen, I'm reading you to find out what's happening with me." So it never came to me. Apparently, there was some discussion as to whether or not I could be released from my contract, and that was the end of it. But everything I knew came from Andrew. Trust me.
But you've already been traded once, so we can't go, boy, Al can't get traded.
Well, as part of that deal back in 05, 06, we threw in, and believe me, it was a throw in. The deal was already done, but at the end of the day, we threw in Oswald the Rabbit. Nobody knew who that was, but the Disney family wanted to get the rights to it back, so we threw that in, and we laughed about it, and then the press didn't think that anything nefarious or insidious was going on behind the scenes. So now, I guess if I had gone back, maybe I would have taken Oswald back with me. I don't know.
I also saw a quote from you, I think, that had to do with Brady when he came into one of those pre-game meetings with the crew from Sunday Night Football, and I'm paraphrasing. I think he said, I'm the most unhappy 8-0 quarterback in the NFL. Do I have that right? And that's last year?
You do, and it was last November. The interesting thing is, so in that meeting, we have our regular, production crew with Chris and Michelle and our production folks, and so we said that on the air that night. So this was in Baltimore. They came in. They were the Patriots were 8-0, so they're undefeated halfway through the season. They're going to go up against Lamar Jackson, and he winds up beating them. And at that point, the Patriots were averaging on defense, giving up, I think, single digits. It was 8 or 9 points a game, but they were on a record pace. And Brady comes into the meeting, and he basically says at one point, I'm the most unhappy 8-0 quarterback in football. So we were trying to do the forensics on it, figuring out what's that all about. Is it all about the fact that he is going to be a free agent and knows he's going to leave? Is it about the fact that the offense is not very good, but the defense is terrific? And just going back to opening day, we had the Patriots against the Steelers in the opening Sunday night game last year. And Brady walked into the meeting and said he's very, very excited because the defense, I think he said, is the best he's ever seen since he was in New England. So he was right about that. The defense was fantastic up until that point in the season. The offense wasn't very good, but I said to him, and I know I'm not going to get the answer at that point. I don't even know if he knows the answer, but I said, Tom, I can't imagine you ever playing in another uniform. So I'm going to lay odds of 43,000 to 1 that you will never be in another uniform. And he kind of laughs, and we all laugh. So he walks out of the room, and Andy Freeland, who's one of our great research people, Andy plunks down $2 on the table and says, I'll take that bet. So I'm trying to give the $2 back to Andy, but he won't take it. So now I'm down for $86,000 this season, Dan. And if Andy thinks he's going to get paid in one lump sum, no way. That's going to be quite the installment plan. But he won the bet.
How surprised were you that Brady decided to walk away?
Very. I just didn't see it happening. Look, Bob Kraft has made it very clear through the years how much he loves him, treats him like a son, wanted to keep him, obviously, and we all know now that Tom went to Bob Kraft's house and they had a good cry about this whole thing. I just didn't see him leaving. I just couldn't imagine it. I mean, look, Tom is in a place that nobody's been. That I can, George Blanda was different. I mean, he played into his 40s, but he was mainly kicking, and he played quarterback a little bit at that particular point, but nobody's been where Brady's been right now. So how much longer does he have to go? Can he go 2 more years, 3 more years, whatever it would be? I think Tom feels great, obviously, at this point. But I I couldn't see it. I couldn't see him walking out the door, but here we are. And I think he needed a little bit of fresh air. And I think when Bob Kraft said in the interview after he left that sometimes you have this great marriage, but a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, somebody else comes into the picture. We could all read between the lines what that meant. So, you can't diminish what Brady and Belichick did as a pair. That was fantastic. And I think, Tom on Howard Stern the other day was talking about, how people make too much of the fact, there was friction or whatever. Yeah, you work with somebody for 20 years, there's going to be friction. But look, what they did was spectacular. It was amazing. 6 Super Bowl wins, 9 Super Bowl appearances, always in the race. But, sometimes maybe you need a little bit of fresh air, so Tom goes down to Florida for that fresh air off the Gulf of Mexico.
He's Al Michaels, NBC Sunday Night Football. And, of course, a couple of minutes ago he talked about Bob Costas not being a technical whiz, savvy, I think. I've as long as I've known Bob, he had a flip phone, but apparently he was able to FaceTime Al Michaels. Yes, Paulie.
Bob Costas on the line, David.
Hey, Bob. Hey, welcome.
Hello, Dan. Hello, Alfalfa. That was an accident. I called Al, and I hit some button inadvertently that apparently produces images, and all of a sudden I saw myself with a 10-day growth of beard, and there was Alfalfa at some weird angle from, underneath his coffee table, and it was all very like George Jetson to me. It was very disconcerting.
Rapping, what are you doing up at this hour? Every time that you were on the road with us, Bob Costas would be the guy. You'd walk by his room at the hotel, and the Do Not Disturb sign was out at 1:30 in the afternoon. Go back to bed.
Bob, do you remember the first time you worked with Al?
The first time we actually worked together, this has to be a setup, before we ever did anything together on NBC, the first thing was basketball in 1998.
Well, I'm in the movie with you. I didn't know that's the first time you guys. I watched that the other night for the first time, Bob.
Yep.
I never watched it all the way through. I was like, and plus you can't watch it with the kids. So I'm going, oh boy. But yeah, you guys were quite a pair there, quite a tandem.
We didn't see, Al will attest to this, we didn't see you, we didn't see Reggie Jackson, we didn't see Kareem, we didn't see Robert Vaughn or Yasmin Bleeth or Ernest Borgnine, none of them. We were the last day of shooting, it was just the two of us. It started out as a lark, and then when they broke and we started to look at some of the dailies, Al looks at me and says, what have we done?
Mm-hmm. We've ended our careers.
But you know what? It turns out, in retrospect, it's like Pootie Tang, which is another cult classic that I proudly starred in. You think it's a disaster, but then as time goes by, it takes on a certain cult classic of appreciation, and you realize that inadvertently you did a good thing.
But the deal is this, and Bob, I don't know if you heard the fact that I was talking about Marcy Carsey and she and Tom Werner getting like $18 gazillion worth of residuals, and we get nothing. We get nothing for appearing on the MLB Network and NFL Network and ESPN Classic, but we do get residuals from that. And baby, that's a joy. You get to the mailbox every couple of months, and here's a residual from basketball, and it's $1.63 after tax.
Yeah, no. Bob, before I let both of you guys go, what are you watching?
Yeah. I'm watching some MLB Network, the classic games. They've responded pretty quickly. Al Kaline passed away the other day, and they showed games 6 and 7 of the 1968 World Series, the only World Series that he's played in. I check the NBA Network. Chris Collinsworth's A Football Life was on the NFL Network the other day. I hadn't seen that before. Maybe it was the first run. And then I'm watching a lot of news, and I'm reading, not just newspapers or stuff online. I'm actually getting to a lot of books that are on the shelf that I hadn't gotten to before.
That's great. Great to talk to both you guys, and hope you're well. Look forward to actually hearing new games from you, Al, since all of your archival games are bothering you. Poor Al. He turns on the baseball network. He's got a game. The NFL network. He's got a game. Boo-hoo, Al.
And then the NBA Network, where I'm doing good. Where Doc Rivers and I are doing the game with Derek Fisher scores the 4/10 of a second to go. Hey, Dan, do we get residuals for this show?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do. You're going to get $8 each.
Beautiful.
Yes, $8. I'll buy Bob a razor.
Hey, listen, I owe Andy Freeland $86,000, so whatever you want to send to me, I'm happy.
Thank you, guys. Great to talk to you.
All right, Dan.
Bob Costas, Al Michaels.
Under the advisement of my lawyers, I'm not going to speak to the potential lawsuit that we could be facing when it comes to Tom Brady merchandise, but I will say we had it first, Tom.